Hello, this is Patrick from XPression. I'd like to show you the new ability to import 3D models in XPression Maps 4.0 and higher. So here I am in XPression Maps, and I'm going to do a couple of videos tied together here. But this one is about how to import 3D models. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go to an interesting spot here. I'm going to be going to a website called Trimble.com. And once I get into Trimble.com, I'm going to go ahead and log in. I made my own account, and you can make yours as well. I'm going to go and look at My Products. And under My Products, I'll have a tool in here called 3D Warehouse. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click Launch. And when I get into Launch, I'm going to be doing some maps where I need some airplanes. I need a couple in particular. I'm looking for one, a Delta Airlines A330 airplane. And this is going to bring me to a series of models, and these are all free models. And again, there's licensing. Make sure you're looking at the licensing properly and you're taking care of what you need to take care of. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download this Delta A330 A300. So I'm going to click on the download button, and I've got a couple choices here. I'm going to choose the Collada file. GLB would also be a great one if they're available, but I'm going to choose Collada here. So I'm going to go in to do that download, and mine is going to go into this software folder for me on my hard drive, and I'm going to import it. Next thing I'm going to do, you can see that it's downloaded. I'll bring that over here so you can see it, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to open it up, and I want to expand this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to extract all. And when that happens, you'll see the dialog box that will appear. It's going to go into a folder for me called -1. And that brings it in. Should be fine. So I've done all that work. Now let's go back to XPression Maps. In my drawing toolbox, I'm in a group called Ross Video Demo. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click on the new drawing tool. And when that dialog box pops up, I'm going to choose from the drawing type 3D object. And when I do that, this will open up the different folders. And again, I've got a couple here. I just downloaded this one here. I'm going to choose that model, DAE. I'm going to click open. And there it is. There's that model that I've just imported. You can play with lighting here. I'm just going to go through this, do this generically. You can choose between Blend Fong or GCX for your shade, or GGX for your shading. And if you want to change the lights, you can go through here and you can create new lights. So if I was to create a new one, I'm going to call this, I'm going to leave it as new light. And I can choose from the colors that are already in my XPression Maps system. So I can choose, for example, this gray that I've got here and say that must be what I want. And again, I can change this different things. We'll talk about the landmarks later, but basically if you bring in a 3D model that has landmark status, what that basically means is it'll have longitude and latitude settings as well as scale. And it lets you set that so that when you put it onto a map, it always goes to the same place. This doesn't have that, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a name, and I'm going to call it a Delta A330. I'm going to click Done. So now I have that model in my drawing tools. Now I'm going to go in here to a relatively small space, and I want to right click and just make a small square. Even better, I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to zoom in to a very tight place. Of course, I picked some place in the middle of the forest. Perfect. We'll just take my plane just for the sake of fun. I'm going to take it, I'm going to drag it out on my scene. I'm going to right click after I dropped it because that lets me manipulate my plane without redoing it. And I'm going to zoom into this a little further. And I'm going to tip the earth by holding down the control key and using my right mouse button and dragging to reselect it. And I'm also going to go in here now with my left mouse button. I'm going to grab the handle to rotate, and as you can see, I now have a 3D object of a plane. And that's how I would bring in a 3D model, and in this case, an airplane. And by the way, when you go into the drawing tool editor, you'll notice that you now have the ability to add altitude. And what that's going to literally do is let me lift this plane up off the ground. If I need to do this, for example, this map here that I've got, it's tipped down. I don't go below sea level or the surface, I shouldn't say sea level. I don't go below 0 because that's the surface of the planet.
but I can go above and I can also keyframe that. So again, that's how you bring in 3D models into XPression Maps 4.0 and higher.